Hi, I'm Soumya, and today I'll be sharing what I would do as a top student with 2 weeks left before GCSE and A-level exams. These are the things I'll be talking about, so skip the bits you think are useful to you. The first thing is learning the content. With 2 weeks left, I would focus first on the high-yield topics. There's a few ways you can find out which topics are high-yield, but the best way is to ask your teachers. Make a list of the high-yield topics for each subject and space them out across the 2 weeks. Making a rough timetable may help. Then watch videos summarizing the high-yield topics to make notes of. It's important that you're not just copying down everything on screen onto paper. You should listen, think about if it made sense to you, then make notes in your own words. If something in the video doesn't make sense, I find that asking AI about it helps me understand it more. And with a better understanding, you'll be able to answer questions, which is what an exam is about. You should probably prioritize paper 1 revision in the first week, and then ideally start paper 2 or 3 revision in the second week. If you have more time, you could watch videos covering the entire paper of the subject by searching something like this up on YouTube. And that's all I would do to revise. But it's important that with each day, you reflect upon what you think is possible to complete with the time that's left. You may need to adjust by removing things off this list. Remember, you will have a little bit of time as well in between exams, so you could push things back to that time. Now I'm going to talk about how to revise effectively. In exams, you have to answer questions, and to answer questions, you need to be able to pick things out of your memory. This is a skill that can be practiced using practice questions, past papers, and blurting. If you don't know what blurting is, it's where you write down everything you can about a topic on a paper and then checking if you've missed anything with your notes. I'd recommend putting time aside after watching the videos and making notes to do at least one of these 3. I prefer doing questions after revising a topic and then doing at least one paper before the exam. With the questions, it's important that you learn from where you go wrong by using the mark scheme to learn more about the topic of the question. And with blurting, it's important that you learn from anything you missed out. For the things I missed out, it helped me to underline those bits in my notes, or maybe making an extra page of notes about the things that you missed, as writing down things helps to put it into memory. Something else that will help with memory is making summaries of the notes that you make. This will make you think about the content, which will help with retention. The more you can test your memory with these revision methods, the better. Now I'm going to be sharing some subject-specific advice. Here are the timestamps for the specific subjects, but I may repeat things from a previous one. For maths, it's all about applying the content, not memorizing. What I did was use the questions on Math Genie. They have solutions and attached videos that explain everything. I used these to learn how to approach a question I was struggling with. The important thing is to make sure you learn how to answer a question after watching the video, so you can answer it if it comes up on your exam. For science, you could honestly just learn the mark schemes. These are the phrases the examiners are looking for. I would recommend making extra notes based on what the mark scheme says, or adding extra points to the notes that you have made. Making these extra points helped me to consolidate the mark scheme so I could answer similar questions in the future. For English language, you should know how to approach each question. I learned how to do this through videos on YouTube, and I recommend these YouTube channels. And for question 5, I found the best way to improve in it was to improve my vocab. This includes things like better adjectives, sentence starters, and different words to describe colors. And do not forget to learn how to include lots of different types of punctuation and different language devices. For English literature, the best piece of advice I can give you is to follow a particular paragraph structure, but also learn alternative interpretations of quotes and learn context for the writer's purpose. This is something the mark scheme wants. For other subjects like geography, RE, and computer science, they are already based on learning the content. My teachers made summary material on them, and I made notes using these. Summary videos would work just as well. And remember to use the mark scheme to your advantage. And now I would like to give you 3 more specific pieces of study advice. Since there's not much time left, you need to focus. The best way to focus for most students is to just put your phone on Do Not Disturb, or put it on work mode so only notifications from certain people pop up on your screen. I've also mentioned this in previous videos, but your study environment makes a huge difference to your ability to focus. Doing these things makes it much easier to focus. It can also help to remind yourself why you clicked on this video. Why do you want to improve your grades? And I like to remind myself of this every day to motivate me to work more and focus. But with that motivation can also come pressure. There will be times where you feel like you will not be able to cover everything, and that may ultimately stress you out. But you have to think to yourself that that's just reality, and we need to work with the time that's left. Like I mentioned, review every day and readjust your plan. These things on screen help me to manage stress, as I have exams soon as well. And one thing that really helps with both stress and preparation is past papers. I cannot stress how important past papers are, but most students don't use them properly, and that's where you can get ahead. I used a framework to make the most of past papers, and I can share that framework in this video.